Hey everyone, it's been a while since I posted a video. A lot's changed since the last time I posted a video. A lot of you have seen the videos we've been posting. So we had a little girl, she's about 10 months old right now, and that's really been the biggest reason I haven't posted anything in a while. My wife and I actually work out 5, 6, 7 days a week, at least we were until she had the baby. And whenever we had the baby, when we got pregnant, we found out that our gym had actually changed the policy. The children had to be at least 2 years old before you could drop them off. So we started calling around. Nobody in our area, at least in a close enough driving distance to make it practical in the evenings, would take infants in their child care program. So her and I actually sat down and we had a long talk about it, and I actually have a space in my house that's unfinished, and we decided we were going to invest the money to finish that space and make it a home gym. Well, that space is actually above my garage. So, you know, I've got my 3-car garage, and it's actually a pretty good sized garage, and you'll notice there's some things that have changed. Well, those are all of the tools that I've purchased over the past few months. Nail guns, saws, AC equipment, you name it. I've had to purchase a whole bunch of stuff over the past 6 months to actually do this remodel. And so what we decided to do was, this space up here is an attic. It's an unfinished attic. It's about a 300 square foot room that was completely unfinished. So I started the journey 6 months ago of installing a home gym on the second floor of my house above my garage. And more or less all of the framing equipment made it up to the attic through this hole in my ceiling. It's not a hole anymore, I've covered it up. I haven't finished mudding it or anything, but I don't even know if I ever will. I might, I don't know, but so I had to actually take down this garage door opener. That garage door spent several days off of its wheels, and so that's where I've been for the past 6 months. Pretty much about 2 weeks after I posted my last video, I started working on the attic, and I can show you guys a little bit about the process and where it's at today. So why don't we go take a quick tour of where it's at today. This is our attic space, and this was nothing but rafters. So I had to put down the floor. I had to move some of the framing, namely that beam right there. I had to put in this ladder so that I have access to that attic. I had to rework the ducting to make space for things. And this attic actually goes all the way back there, where we have plenty of storage. So life had to start here first while I was getting the plans drawn up, doing all my thinking, planning, materials, blah, blah, blah. So I actually started working on this attic first, so that we would have a place to store things, because we were actually using that attic. That was actually floored. It already had a floor specifically for an attic, and the engineer told me it was built like an attic, so it was rated for an attic space. That I had to finish into an attic so that I could actually use this for what we intended. Now this is my kind of like home office slash family room. This is where we watch movies on the weekends and just kind of hang out. And I work from home a lot here. 4 or 5 days a month, full days, a lot of evening calls, that kind of stuff. I work here a lot. And so some of the work actually took place in here. I actually redid a lot of the electrical. I had to actually install this plug because it was something else. So I had to make sure we had a plug here. And then the light switch, I turned that into a three-way. Because there wasn't anything. That was actually the light switch for the attic, because that's the attic. But now it's a 3-way that controls this room. So why don't we go out into the attic, which is now the gym, so you can see what's going on out there. So here is the gym. Maybe people aren't super impressed by it, but it's a lot of work. A lot of time went into turning this in to a home gym from an attic. Here's the equipment we have, just kind of a quick walk around and overview. TV we have where we've got a Chromecast connected to. Just all the equipment. Over there is a closet with access to the maintenance equipment. I installed a skylight. So why don't I kind of spend a second here and go through some of the things about the attic that I think are cool. So for starters, that skylight is actually solar powered, and these are the controls for it. And it has it's called a fresh air skylight. So you push this button, and the skylight will actually open automatically. If you push the other button, this one that has the little symbol on it, if you push that button, it has blackout blinds, and they are automatic as well. So it's a fresh air skylight with automatic blinds, and it's all solar powered. So there's a little motor and a little battery attached to the skylight, and that powers all the motors and stuff for this. So I did that just to make sure. In the wintertime, you use it a lot to get fresh air in here. We don't use it. We don't open it a whole lot in the summer, but the fresh air skylight's kind of nice. And then if this ever gets converted to a bedroom, you've got skylight and fresh air, but you can also black it out by closing the blackout blinds. The other thing is it has motion activated lights that are dimmable. So this is the motion detector. And I did that because it would be too easy to come up here and work out one night and then forget about it. And so if that's on a Thursday night and we take Friday off and then we don't make it up here till Saturday night, the lights pretty much stayed on for 48 hours, which I would hope somebody caught it before then, but I just didn't want to, run the risk of forgetting it. So they're motion activated. As soon as you walk in the room, they turn on, and it's on a 2-minute timer. So if you leave 2 minutes later, they turn off. There's of course the AC unit. It's called a mini split, and it's actually rated to do a room twice this size, and that comes in really handy whenever we're doing cardio because the vent kind of aims right in that direction. My wife actually hates the air blowing on her, but she likes to be cool. So she's over there, and I'm over here where I can feel the air blowing on me. And we do hardcore cardio. I mean, we're going to do cardio later tonight, and I ride for at least an hour indoors whenever we do cardio, sometimes more than that. It's a pretty intense workout. I usually end up burning about 800 calories. So I get really hot, really sweaty up here, and so having a unit way oversized for this room keeps it really cool. Especially with it being on the second floor. So of course there's the TV that we have over there, and that makes it nice on some of the long cardio days. Like we watched the Democrat debate the other day while we were up here working out. So it's just nice to have the TV up here. And then the other cool thing is the closet, which seems stupid, but just hear me out. So the closet is actually got an automatic light as well. It has this little button in the door jamb so that when you close the door, the light goes off. And I did that also because I didn't want to, forget and leave the closet door open. It's just got some leftover supplies stored up here. But this is actually the maintenance door so that I can get out there still. And I had to make it as wide as possible. That's why there's kind of like that angle there. Because I had to make it really wide so that I could still get my air conditioning unit out if I needed to. Because the house has 2 air conditioning units. So if I go out here, you can see this is where the furnace and AC unit is. So I had to have a door capable of getting those out if they ever go bad. The other thing I had to do was reroute some of this piping. So that is actually the vent tube for the water heaters, and it's all the code, it's all the spec. I had to reroute the intake and exhaust for the furnace, and then I had to install this lighting because there was no lighting up here. The reason I did that is because you still have to get around the attic, and those lights actually go all the way down, all the way around. And there's actually a ton of there's a gas line over there, there's electrical over there, there's the cable box, the phone, there's all kinds of stuff over there on that side of the attic, and I still need access to it. And it looks about like this over there, a little space where you can crawl around. I put floors down so that you can still get around over there. And down there is actually the hole. All right, let's take you down there. This is the hole that I had to put in the roof to get these beams up here. So these joists that are sistered in, that was a hole to get these massive beams up here. So this one is 32 feet long, and it is 24 inches tall, and it is 11 inches wide. So while we're down there, that's the other one actually. So I had two giant beams like this that I had to install, and the entire gym rests on these beams. And that was part of why it took so long getting all of the plans drawn up. Well, I don't want to forget that light because that light's not automatic. But, ouch. Sorry, I stepped on a splinter while I was out there in the attic, but it took a while because I had to get those plans drawn up. I had to get a whole lot of stuff taken care of. Had to figure out how I was going to get those beams in the attic. Matter of fact, why don't I show you a quick video? It's like 4 minutes long of a quick little video I took for my family to show them, because they had no idea how I was going to get the beams up here, what I was doing, that you know, I was sending text messages and talking to them about. So here's a couple minute video so you can see how I got all those beams into the attic. So this is how I get the big crane, or the big beams up into the attic. That's how I got those bad boys up here. So this is my overhead crane, and it's on an A-frame. That A-frame is braced on this big beam. It's tied to the rafters right there, and then it's got these big huge structural screws on a 2x6 to support the weight. And it's got a 40-foot steel rope that goes all the way down there. That I emptied my garbage last night, and I cut a hole in the floor, 6 foot by 3 foot, and those joists are just hanging in air except for that 2x4 that runs across. I've got those big structural screws in there as well that are holding it up. And then underneath this leg of the crane, I actually have those 3 supports that brace, and that's a shadow, but it braces all the way up to these 3 joists right there. Goes all the way down to the floor. So that supports this leg of it. This giant beam supports the other leg. And you can see the angle puts most of the force on that leg. And then this joist right here is that what the beam rests on while it's getting scooted. So basically it rests right here and then gets scooted that way. So that joist is braced to the rafter right there. And then I have a couple layers of blocking that brace from flexing this way. I've got some layers of blocking that go through there, and then I have this sheet of plywood screwed all the way down so it doesn't flex that way. And then an additional reinforcement, I've got this big heavy angle bracket which is specifically designed for this on both sides of that joist, so that joist isn't going anywhere while it has something sitting on it. And then I've got my crane controls I've got them on a really long wire so that I can either be down there on the ground and control the crane, or I can be up in the attic. But that's how I get the beams into the attic from down there. Probably enough rambling for one video, but I wanted to give you guys a good update. Part of the reason it took 6 months is because I did everything myself. I had the engineer draw the plans up, but I had to build it. I had to source the materials, order the materials, pick the materials, pay for the materials, install the materials, so I did everything. I did the framing, the electrical work, the AC work, the sheetrock work, the painting, the trim work. I mean, I did everything. Everything. I installed the skylight. I did everything. I had to learn a lot. I had to do a lot. So, I mean, even the floors. I installed the floor, which is rubber flooring. It's 9mm or 3/8 rubber flooring. I mean, I did everything. There's, I think, 10 wall outlets in here. There's 6 lights up here. I had to do the closet light. I had to do the electrical in the family room. I mean, I did everything myself. So, I mean, this skylight right here, I don't know if you guys can even see that because it's so bright, but that skylight took me one full Saturday. It took me a 13-hour Saturday. I started real early in the morning, and I didn't finish till late that night. But when you got a hole in your roof, I mean, you got to finish it, right? So I did everything myself. And now we have a complete gym, and this should have added roughly $30,000 to my house value. So I had a lot of time investment, a lot of money investment, but the equity it added to my house is way more than the money I invested to build the room. And now we actually have a gym, which I've got about $5,500 worth of equipment in here. And some of it was Craigslist, some of it was new, I mean, just a conglomerate of stuff, some of it was Amazon. But I've got about $5,500 worth of equipment, and we were spending roughly $600 a year on gym memberships and blah, blah, blah. So eventually it'll pay for itself, but really the big thing is I have family time. We can all work out together up here. We usually put my daughter to bed and then come work out. And when she gets older, she'll be able to work out up here too. And if we have more, it'll be family time up here. And then also, I added a ton of equity to my house, and if I ever needed to, I actually have another place for another bedroom, or if we need like a homeschool room, if we go that route or whatever, I don't know. But the thing for the next long time, probably 4 or 5 years, will be that this is going to be a gym, and it's a great place for me and my wife to spend time together. We spend a couple hours a night up here, just hanging out, talking, lifting weights, encouraging one another, talking about life. I mean, it's a great time for us just to have every day together. So that's where I've been for the past 6 months. I've got some other content I'll be posting up. Some of it will be about cars, some of it won't. But that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. There's more stuff on the Corvette coming. There's more stuff about house DIY. There's more stuff about the truck coming. There'll probably be more trips coming. We're going to be going to Sedona here in a couple of months to visit some family. So we'll probably post some stuff about that. But I'm hoping to be posting a video once a week or once every other week just to kind of stay at it, stay posting content. Hopefully it's entertaining. So thanks for checking in. Thanks for seeing what I've been doing with my life. And stay tuned for more.